Durban Halloween. I hope you look as good as I feel, because I feel great. I mean, really moja. Welcome to the show. I am your host with the gift of the gab. My name is Thembeka Pilani. Thank you for welcoming me from your small to medium screen as we give you some carried awesomeness of the city that we love and we call home, Durban. You can fall in love with Durban again with the show with Thembeka Pilani. We all know that Durban really can't be counted up there with your New Yorks, Parises, Cairos, and Milans, because Durban really is a world-class city. It's full of beautiful architecture, wonderful natural nature, and a rainbow nation of people and cultures. So if you didn't believe that, or probably don't know it, we hope today's episode will have you voguing down Dr. Pixley Kaseme Street in no time. So whether you're looking at Durban from over here, or here, there really is no mistaking that Durban really is a world-class city. Built in 2006, just in time for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the Moses Mabhida Stadium has become an iconic part of the Durban skyline. I suppose it's due to this magnificently large and multifunctional Arc of Triumph. Today we'll be speaking to Laura McLeod, the Marketing and Communications Manager of Moses Mabhida, so she can tell us just how world-class this stadium really is. So Durban, continue with Durban's awesomeness and world-classness. We're here with Laura McLeod. She's the Marketing and Communications Manager of Moses Mabhida Stadium. Laura, how are you today?
We're good, thank you. We're well into preparation at Moses Mabhida Stadium for July Fever. We have two parties happening at Moses Mabhida Stadium this weekend, pre-party, post-party, and we have two of the post-parties for the Vodacom July Fact Durban Rocks, and on Saturday night and Good Sunday on Sunday.
Wow, you have a whole packed weekend this weekend, hey? Moses Mabhida is really, really up there.
Yes, so welcome, and I'm glad to show you around today and tell you a bit more about Moses Mabhida, and not just the big concerts and the big events and big football matches here, but all the other things that we do here at Moses Mabhida.
Because we're here to actually see the actual stadium here today. So Laura, just let's get straight into it. So what makes Moses Mabhida a world-class establishment?
I think for Moses Mabhida Stadium, it genuinely is unlike any other stadium. You know, we mentioned the big events, but we're not only open when they're big events. We are open at the stadium 7 days a week.
Okay.
We have a thriving and fully operational tourist attraction, adventure attraction arm of the business. So we have the Sky Car, we have stadium tours, we have the Adventure Walk, which is 500 steps up the arch to get to the beautiful view at the top. We have Segway gliding tours, we have the Big Rush Big Swing, where people jump from 80 meters high off our arch and swing out in a 220 meter arc, and then taken back up 80 meters and climb back down the stairs. So we're full of action and full of adventure at this stadium. We also have the park, People's Park, which is adjacent to our stadium. We have a kids playground there, we have a cafe, we have a 1 kilometer running track. People cycle there, they rollerblade, they skateboard, all sorts of things. So we are the heart of Durban, or one of the hearts of Durban, certainly, we believe.
So it seems there's plenty happening here at Moses Mabhida. But just Durban as a whole, Laura, how do you feel Durban as a whole is a world-class city?
I think Durban has so much to offer. It's easy to rattle off the big things, the Oshakas, the Moses Mabhida Stadiums, the Gateways, the ICC. These will obviously be huge anchors in our city. But there's a lot of other little things that we probably need to think about and learn about and discover about our city. Think about the Ananda Heritage Route. Think about township tourism. Go and visit Max's Lifestyle. Go and visit One and Only in Kwamashu. Go for a picnic at Botanic Gardens. It doesn't need to cost you anything. Just pack up your lunch, pack up your kids, and go and lie on the lawns there, feed the ducks. Valley of 1,000 Hills, rich in culture, Pezulu Safari Park. There are all sorts of things. And for me, I just love the shades of blue of the city, the blue sky, the blue sea. There's so much around the city that you can do for free. A lot of really good value as well. There obviously are expensive things, but I think there's a lot that this city offers that you actually don't need to pay a lot for. Also think about the emerging arts and culture vibe. We've got the Design Factory just opened up off Mgani Road, the city redevelopment. We've got Rivertown. These really artsy, craftsy, designy spaces and places. Locally made items on sale. It's a completely different shopping and exploring and even eating experience.
Sure. And you've really given us so much, Laura. I'm actually afraid to even ask this next question. So what do you, Laura, personally love about our city, Durban?
I'm a mom of a young boy, so a lot of my entertainment revolves around him. I quite like markets. I love going to markets, and I find that they really cater quite well for the kids. So if I come to the iHeart Market, which is on tomorrow at Moses Mabhida Stadium, my son can ride a bike. He'll bring his skateboard. There's really nice food. He's a bit of a foodie, so he likes fancy food, and there's some amazing food on offer at iHeart. We also enjoy the beach and playing around in the rock pools. He likes to fish, those sorts of things. But then when I'm away from my mommy role and going out with my friends, I love the variety of restaurants we have. There's a whole lot of new restaurants that have been opening up, and all the classics like the Florida Road Strip. And then, spending some time on the beach. And the other thing that I like is we need to think bigger than this city as well. We are in the province of KZN, the Zulu Kingdom. And think about 1.5 hours to 2 hours away from this city. There's mountains, there's rivers, there's game reserves, there's bush, there's animals. There's really everything that you could wish to see in this city, and maybe an hour or two away from us. And so on my weekends, I like to do those sorts of things. I love going to the Berg. I love going into the bush and the game reserves and getting away from city life.
Sure.
Not too many places the world over have that kind of offer right on our doorstep.
So Laura, you seem to really have your finger on the pulse of what's happening in and around Durban. But if I was an international tourist and I was not coming from the country, what's the one thing in your books that I should not leave the city without doing?
Well, I think this weekend is probably the perfect example of what Durban could offer an international tourist. You come into our city, there's one of the most famous horse races happening and fashion fairs, and in the Vodacom Durban July. And at Moses Mabhida Stadium, we've got two of the biggest parties. There are parties happening all around the city, from on the beach to the Old Virginia Airport site to Moses Mabhida Stadium, as mentioned. I mean, there's probably not anything you couldn't offer an international tourist just this weekend in terms of lifestyle, culture of this city, the melting pots of European, African, Indian cultures, Asian cultures that we have in this city, and then chilling. I mean, a lot of adventure, a lot of chill. It's another contrast our city offers. Huge partying and then a bit of chill on the beach or somewhere else.
Sure. So you're saying an international tourist should come to Durban for a huge party?
When it's alive, when our city's alive. Yes,
of course. We are Durban. We are the KZN's, South Africa's playground, in fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This has been really awesome. Thank you so much, Laura, for your time. I'm Tembeka Vilana, and this is the show bringing you all that is best of Durban. When you think of the word airport, what words come to mind? Maybe luggage, boarding tickets, or boarding times. But I suppose the words recreation, relaxation, or fun for the whole family for that matter really do not come to mind. But here at King Shaka International Airport and all other AXA managed airports, these words have become common descriptions. So come with us as we get to see exactly how world-class King Shaka International Airport really is. We're here at King Shaka International Airport, and we're standing with Mr. Colin Naidu, who is the Corporate Affairs Manager. So Mr. Colin, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic, and yourself?
Sure. Lots of hustle and bustle going on today.
Well, this is the Durban July fever that we're experiencing, and we look forward to this every year.
Of course. So as you know, we're here to actually speak about the King Shaka International Airport as an international world-class establishment. So tell us, Mr. Naidu, what about the King Shaka International Airport makes it an international, a world-class?
Well, our airport was launched in May 2010. Our airport is only 6 years old.
Okay, pretty young.
But our company is in the business now 22 years. But our airport is very unique. It's the first greenfield airport ever built in 50 years in South Africa. We built it from scratch, from ground level. It took us 33 months to build, and we're very proud of this airport. 6 years later, this airport has shown some phenomenal growth in terms of passenger numbers. We came here with a passenger figure of about 4.5 million passengers. We're currently doing 4.9 million passengers, and we've introduced 4 new international airlines since the last quarter of last year.
Wow. That is amazing, very, very exceptional. And maybe tell us a bit about your airlines, the new airlines that you've incorporated into King Shaka International.
Last quarter, we hosted the World Routes Conference. And the World Routes Conference is basically 3,000 decision makers about airports and airlines that came to Durban.
Okay.
And based on that, Turkish Airlines, Ethiopian Airlines, Qatar Airways, and ProFlight, which flies to Zambia, all open shop in King Shaka International. So we're very proud of that.
Sure.
And we're also very, very, very thankful that these airlines chose Durban and KZN to travel to.
Of course. Yeah. And speaking of Durban and KZN, so how do you feel Durban as a whole is a world-class city?
I'm a Durbanite by birth and by right. And I just love my city. I love my province. I love the atmosphere. It's the most multicultural province I can really be in.
Sure.
I've visited every corner of this country and love the country, but home is home.
Of course.
And the diversity, we bring it into our business and into our airport, and you can see all around you shows the diversity of and culture of this region.
Of course. And for you, Mr. Colin Naidu, what do you personally love about the Durban city?
I think it's the togetherness, the relationships. Being part of the airport, we have to forge relationships with other entities, and with the city, with the province, with the government, with hospitality, with tourism, and we're very good at doing that. And we just love the fact that we have these relationships with these entities. That makes us successful and makes the city successful, and obviously for our country.
Sure. Great love for the city you have, yeah. And at the King Shaka International Airport, besides flights, which obviously is the main thing that people come here for, what else do people come here for? What else does the King Shaka International Airport offer to its visitors?
What we want to do with our airport, and what we're currently doing with our airport, is making it a destination airport. We're not here to compete with the shopping malls, but it is a shopping mall.
Okay.
The only thing the shopping malls don't have is aeroplanes. We have everything.
Yes,
we have the shops, we have trolleys, we have food, and everything that you can purchase at a shopping mall. But we want people to experience it. We also want to make our airport accessible to the communities around the airport. So you can come to our airport at 5 o'clock in the morning or at 11 o'clock at night if you need to shop. You can do your banking after normal hours. We have a post office that operates after normal hours, and you can also fly if you want to.
Of course. So there's plenty happening here at King Shaka.
Absolutely.
Of course. So let's say I was an international tourist. I was coming in the gates of King Shaka. What should I not leave this city without doing?
Certainly, first experiencing our airport, a world-class airport, and it's measured around with other 450 airports around the world. So we're quite proud of this airport. Obviously, the city has a lot to offer, whether it's the Berg, the beaches, the bushes, but you must enjoy our beaches and have a bunny chow before you go.
It was a pleasure speaking to you, Mr. Naidu. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for showing us around this very, very world-class and very established airport.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Durban. We absolutely cannot talk about Durban's world-classness without talking about Durban's world-class beaches. Winter or summer, these beaches always get a thumbs up from the whole family, from international tourists as well. And so today we're going to be speaking to Miss Mandy Biela. She is a tour guide here on the beach promenade, and she can tell us just how world-class these beaches we know are. It's a beautifully windy day here in Durban, and we're standing at the beach promenade. We've got our Miss Mandy Biela. She is an esteemed tour guide here at Durban. So Mandy, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, thank you. How are you, Tembega?
I'm very, very good, Mandy. Thank you so much for asking. So we're continuing Durban, speaking about Durban's world-classness. And so Mandy, tell us what is so world-class about the Durban Beach Promenade?
The beautifully paved promenade is world-class. We call the Golden Mile because of the golden sands. So it is a place to be for when you are coming to Durban for a holiday, where you can come chill with your family, with your friends, and also the lovers. It is the best place to be because it offers everything to everyone. To easy access to the beaches that are shark protected, also supervised by lifeguards throughout the year. It also gives you access to world-class facilities like the Moses Mabhida Stadium and also the Ushaka Marine World, as well as our Sun Coast Casino, just to name a few.
Sure, that's lovely. And Mandy, on average, how many visitors do you get here at the beach promenade annually?
Well, it's a seasonal thing, But Durban at its busiest, which is around Durban, December, July, January, we get up to 1 million and go beyond that mark.
Wow, that is quite a few visitors, eh? And so besides enjoying the beautiful beaches, what else can Durban visitors experience or enjoy at the promenade?
There's quite a wealth of activities to choose from. From the rickshaw bus, which we offer as Durban Tourism. It's a 3-hour tour that gives you an overview of the city, where you get to learn more about the other products that we have to offer in Durban. You can also go to the Moses Mabhida, as I've mentioned. The Moses Mabhida has the tallest swing in the world. Can you believe that?
Fantastic.
So you can swing off there, take out a plunge and get to tick off your bucket list activity. You can hire segways from there. You can go on a sky car to enjoy the aerial views of the city of Durban. You could come also for the rickshaw rides on the beach as well as on our pavements here. There's just so much to choose from. And also we have the oldest surviving botanic gardens in Africa, the Botanic Gardens in Durban. Yeah, you can come for that as well. You would have seen different landscapes of the city. We've got your country, we've got your beach, we've got your history, your heritage sites. You know, there's so much that you can see in Durban. We have 9 regions that we offer, and each one of them has something unique to showcase. So that's what I'm proud of, and that's what I believe Durban is a world-class city because of.
You can jump off the big swing at Moses Mabhida Stadium or go swimming with the sharks at Ushaka Marine World Durban. But nothing says world class in Durban than the Nkosi Albert Luthuli ICC. So join me today as we speak to the marketing manager, Scott Langley. Come, let's go. As previously mentioned, Durban, we are at the Durban ICC today and we continue to speak about Durban's world-classness. So I'm sitting here with Mr. Scott Langley. He is the marketing manager of the Durban ICC. So Scott, welcome to the show. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Thank you for having me on the show.
Sure, and thank you for actually joining us today. So Scott, as you know, we are speaking about Durban's world-classness. So tell us, the Durban ICC, what makes it, in your words, a world-class establishment?
Well, we're very lucky in Durban to have a facility like the Durban International Convention Centre, and I think that there's a number of points that make the Durban ICC really world-class. And a lot of people don't know that the ICC was South Africa's first international convention centre. So it really played a pioneering role in bringing international events into South Africa after the apartheid era. And so it really opened up international business tourism for the country. So it played that pioneering role. The second thing I think is just the sheer size of the building. The Durban ICC is the largest flat floor, column-free, multi-purpose event space in all of Africa. So the size of it really does help us. And I think the third thing really is just the striving for excellence that the staff and the team here really seeks to deliver every day. We're very honoured to have won the World Travel Awards as Africa's leading convention centre 15 times over the last 16 years.
That's excellent.
So it's a reputation that we work very hard to live up to and to ensure that every event that we host is at a world-class standard.
Wow, that's really excellent, Scott. And speaking of the actual events, just if you could just tell me roughly annually, how many events does the ICC hold?
It is a large number. It's anywhere between 300 and 400 events a year, and many of those are obviously multiple day events. And you'll say, well, Scott, how do you do that if there's only 365 days in a year?
Course.
And the reality is we're running multiple events simultaneously. And because of the design of the centre, it allows us to use halls independently for different clients and different events at the same time.
I see. Okay, then, so Scott, with you, for Durban as a whole, how do you feel Durban, where the ICC is situated, is a world-class city?
Durban's by far my favourite city, and I've had the privilege of living in different cities around the country growing up. But I've been in Durban for the last 4 years, and it's by far my favourite city in South Africa. And if it was up to me, I'll never leave Durban. I love the weather, I love the people, and the thing I really love about Durban is Durbanites have a real love for fun. Everyone's got something that they do in their lives, whether it's cycling or surfing or taking the dogs for a walk on the beachfront. Something in their lives. Everybody in Durban makes enjoyment of life a priority in their life, which makes, I think, everyone a lot more optimistic. I think it makes people more friendly, and it makes the city more livable and more friendly. And that's why I love Durban.
Okay, that's awesome. Really, really awesome. Scott, you spoke briefly about that the ICC is a multifunctional unit. So besides events, what other facilities can visitors to the ICC enjoy?
Well, obviously the events is our main core business, but we have a very active coffee shop here which is open to the public, and a lot of business people make use of that to come in maybe for a pre-work coffee or a short meeting with someone. You get the first hour of parking free. There's complimentary Wi-Fi. You can come in, have a great cappuccino. You can charge your phone at one of the charging stations in one of the coffee shop tables. You can have your shoes shined. So we want to really make the ICC part of the community and not something that just seems like it's only for delegates. It's part of the fabric of Durban. And so a lot of Durbanites make use of that just by visiting the coffee shop and experiencing some of those services that we offer as well.
So, Scott, if I was an international tourist and I was coming to Durban, I was visiting the ICC, what is the one thing that I should not leave Durban without doing?
Sure, that's a good question because Durban has so much on offer if you're visiting for the first time. And I'd be hard pressed to choose between maybe spending the afternoon at Shaka Marine World, which is a world-class facility in its own right, and the marine research that they do there, and just the myriad of things you can experience there is just fantastic. But if you may be a little more pressed for time, take a trip in the sky car, go up the arch at the Moses Mabhida Stadium and get a panoramic view of the city and its coastline. It really is something awesome to see.
Sure. Durban really is awesome. So thank you so much for your time, Scott. Thank you so much for being here. It really has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Titik.
Sure. And thank you so much, Durban. Thank you for joining us on the show. I am your host, Tempe Gafilani. I love you so much, but remember, God loves you more.